Hello, everybody. Dan here with The Wealth Instinct. I wanted to share with you my most recent article, The Downside of Being Your Own Boss. But first, if you could do me a favor, if you could subscribe to the page and click the bell icon so you can get more, to get updates whenever I post anything. I post about personal development and business opportunities, business articles. So, the downside of being your own boss. So, I wrote this article because like many people, I dreamed of being my own boss for a long time. And and when I finally was able to make it happen, it was like a dream come true. It was amazing. And but then I realized there's also a downside to it, right? I really wanted my own business, but then when I got it, it was like, oh, it's just me, right? I have to do everything. And I thought that's what I wanted, and then I realized that there's a limit to what you can do on your own, and that part of the reason that I was running away from the corporate culture was that I didn't feel a part of it. But in order to create a successful business, you have to learn to create a culture. And one of my biggest fears going into my business was, how am I going to find people that are as passionate as I am about doing this, um, who are willing to do the work without being the owner, without getting all the upside potential, obviously they're not taking on the risk as well. And really what it comes down to is leadership. You've got to become a leader. And, as a small business owner, there are, there are, there is a lot of potential to grow when the business is just you, but there's a limit to how big your business can grow. And, and the good thing is that with online business and with automated tools and leverage and all that, the resources we have now, you can get pretty far as a solopreneur, but you are also able to leverage a lot of contract employers and employees, like through Fiverr and Upwork, and leverage some really amazing tools like Aweber and SEO tools and 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 web hosting tools and ads, that make being a solopreneur a lot more. It gives you a lot more leverage as a solopreneur. But then there's still a point where you're going to bump up against how much you can do and create on your own, right? And so really what this is about is that, you know, that being your own boss can be a dream come true, but it can also be a nightmare if you don't do it right. And what you want to do, really the book that I recommend everybody is the EMyth by Michael Gerber. If you haven't read it, go read it. If you are thinking about owning a business, if you already own a business, read that book. One of the things that he talks about is this entrepreneurial myth, and and really it's kind of the idea of being your own boss, and the problem is that you might end up creating a job that you can't quit, right? Like the beauty of a job is that if you don't like the job, if you don't like your boss, if you don't like the work, whatever, you can find another job. You can say, no, thank you, and leave. But when you create your own business, it's not that easy to just walk away. You can sell a business, but it's not as easy to sell as like selling a house. It takes longer. There's fewer buyers, and you have to structure it in a way. You know, you have to structure it in a way that it's sellable, and that's something you have to really plan on for a long time. And you can't just suddenly decide to sell it, because generally any business is very much dependent on you. And the more it depends on you, the harder it is to sell. Like it has to be able to run without you so that someone else can come along and buy it and keep expecting that cash flow. And so the E-Myth really addresses a lot of the misconceptions people have, the myths people have about owning a business and what that means. And one of the really great things is this idea of creating structure in the business, so that even if your business is just you, there's clearly defined roles. There's decisions you make as the CEO. There's decisions you make as the VP of sales and marketing. There's decisions you make as the director of operations. And there's specific tasks and roles that you have in each of those categories that if you were to hire someone, you could clearly articulate and define what those are so that the person you're hiring knows what they're being hired to do and they have a clear understanding of the role and the expectations. And that's pretty critical to being to being able to step away from your own business, right? And you need to have systems in place so that when employees show up, he talks about you're not hiring employees, you're hiring players in a game that you created, right? And so when employees show up, they need to know what the game is. They need to know how to play it and how to win. And when they win, you've set it up in a way that it's a win-win. So they get rewarded and you get rewarded when they play the game well. And most importantly, your customers and clients get rewarded. And that all comes down to how you set up the business, the systems you create, and the systems are what set you free. You want not anyone, but the people who can see your vision, the people who are excited about the game you created, who are the people who you find who connect to that. You want them to be able to step in and be successful, because when they're successful, your clients are happy, and then you're successful. So really, I just wanted to highlight the idea that being a business owner is amazing. I love it. It's the best decision I ever made. I feel more connected to my purpose, and I feel more connected to what I'm doing and how I earn a living. But there is a downside, and you don't want to just go in, and then at some point find out the honeymoon's over, and you're like, what have I done, right? Like, so you want to kind of go in with eyes wide open and have access to resources, because at a company, when you work for someone else, there's HR department, there's managers, there's coworkers, there's a lot of support structure. And when you have your own business, you have to find a way to create that and to have that support structure and resources that you can go to. And that's where it comes in handy to have coaches, to have a mastermind group, to have other business owners you can reach out to, and to be able to create some structure in what you're doing, and so that other people can participate, because it's more fun when other people participate. When it's just you, you get all the reward, but you get all the you get all the downside, and you have less help. You can't really step away. So one of the best resources I can recommend is the Entreprenation that Jeff Lerner created. He's got a Facebook group, an elite group you can join and bounce ideas off people. They have free trainings. He also has some other coursework that you can look into. The blueprint is a really good way to start off, just to get an idea of what he's all about and what the group's all about, and that'll tell you that's enough to tell you if you are going to want to go deeper with it, or if it's a good fit or not. So I really recommend clicking on that link and checking it out. And don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon. I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments. And we'll talk soon. Thanks for watching.